Are we gonna get a little competition? Because if not, hey, I want to get a sweat. I got better things to do with my Saturday. You know that.
What's up, Basketball Brain fans and members? So the fuzz is still here. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's my computer. I'm trying to figure it out. So again, sorry for that background fuzziness. There was a really great comment in the comments section on the last video, and I've done other videos on how to talk trash or the method behind talking trash. But this person asked, what do you do when someone talks trash to you? How do you handle that? Well, if you go back and watch the other trash talk videos, you'll see that I put a whole lot of emphasis on the fact that trash talk is just words. So when the words come out, they're almost like out of your mouth, and then you have nothing to do with them. That's the key, is to separate who you are from the word you're saying. That's what masterful trash talkers do. Now listen, most people say, I don't care what people think. They can talk. Haters are going to hate. Listen, if you're saying that, you probably do care what people think. And you shouldn't feel guilty about it. You shouldn't feel bad. But often, people who say, you know me, I don't care what people think. What they then do is overcompensate. And they start saying wild things just to prove they don't care, okay? Which is a direct reaction to caring about what people say. And the truth is, most of us naturally do care. It's human nature to want the approval of your peers. And what we teach in the program is to prefer to have that approval, to be honest with yourself that, yes, of course I want the approval of people in my class, in my business, in my job, everything I do. I would prefer to have it, but I don't need it. So in your mind, you make that split between appreciating and preferring it and needing it. So you tell yourself, I would prefer if people didn't talk trash to me. I'd prefer if there were no haters and doubters. But I don't need that to be the reality. And the reason you don't need that to be the reality is because you can't control that reality. People are going to talk, right? Okay, but how do we get rid of someone's trash talk that's kind of wormed or weaseled into our head? Because sometimes people say things, or we hear things, or we spot something on social media, and we don't want it to bother us, and we'd prefer that it didn't bother us, but if we're honest, it's kind of weaseled its way into our brain, and it's setting up shop there, and it's proliferating all of these negative feelings and negative ideations and self-talk. So what do? First is reaffirm that all you have to do is prepare the right way. Your job is just to prepare the right way and do the best that you can do. Whatever happens after you perform, whatever the results are, whatever your stats are, whatever the final score is, as long as you've done your best and you've gotten to the present moment, that's all you have to do. You don't have to prove somebody else wrong who's talking trash about you. You don't have to do any of that, especially at the early stages. You haven't mastered the mental game yet. You don't want to get into a situation where you're trying to one-up somebody who's putting you down. You don't want to do that. You just want to stay in the present moment. And even if you're a great player, listen, you want to stay in your game. That's what you want to do. You want to stay in your game. A classic example of this is George Karl, and I've done a video on this. Jordan came out, and it was towards the end of his career, and George Karl was saying, look, Jordan doesn't drive anymore. Maybe he's scared to, get hurt or something. And you would think Jordan said, well, he says I can't drive anymore, let me show him. And you'd think he'd go into that game and drive every time. He didn't do that. He stayed in his game and just shot jump shots and destroyed the Sonics. So stay in your game, play your very best. Number 2 is remember that the words people say are just sound. Like you're listening and these words make sense, but if you take a step back, it's just like babble. So sometimes when somebody's talking trash, I pretend they're speaking a foreign language. Yeah, I know they're speaking, but I can't really understand them. So just kind of in your mind, what you can do is if somebody's talking trash, take what they said and kind of jumble it in your mind. Like he's no good. So if I hear somebody say, oh, he's no good, his videos suck, what I'll do in my head is just hear, blah, 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 blah. His videos are no good, blah, 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 blah. And I'll keep doing that. Anytime that soundbite comes into my head, I scramble it. So it's just sound, like doesn't mean anything to me. And just remember that, it's just sound. It's also just the way somebody else's brain works. So you don't care what's happening in somebody else's house if they have their lights on, right? Say you're driving down the road and some random house has its lights on. That has nothing to do with you. Well, the way someone's neurons fire in their head has nothing to do with you. So as you're going through life, people's neurons are lighting up, and there's light coming out in the form of words, so to speak. If their head's the house, you know how the light sort of shines out of the house. They're saying nonsense. Who cares? You don't care what's going on in somebody's house. Don't care what goes on in somebody else's head. It's none of your business. And that's not the same as saying, I don't care what people think. It's just recognizing you really don't care what's going on in somebody else's head. What you care about is what's going on in your head. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want to give you a specific drill. Okay, this is very simple. I use it all the time. Imagine that you're sitting in front of a fireplace. Close your eyes. Imagine you're sitting in front of a fireplace. You can feel the heat. The fire is really big, and you're in a really comfortable chair. And on your lap, you have a piece of paper and a pencil or pen. And what I want you to do is write down somebody who's hating on you, who's talking trash about you, what they said. Maybe somebody in my video says, your video is really boring. It sucks. I don't like it. So I would see myself in my mind, write that down on a piece of paper. Okay, and then I would read it after I wrote it down on the piece of paper. And then what I'll do, and I want you to do, if you have to pause it for a second, write a few things down, go ahead. What I want you to do after you do that is take that piece of paper, feel yourself crumbled up. You know how it feels to crumble a piece of paper. And then I want you to throw it in the fire. And I want you to watch it burn away. And you'll notice as you do this that the doubt, this trash talk burns away. It just goes away. And the reason this happens is because your mind works in symbols. So you're giving mind a symbol of what you want to have happen. It's the same thing as dragging file into the trash can on your desktop or laptop and hitting empty trash. And that's what we're doing. And you can do it repetitively. So if it keeps happening, if the trash talk keeps coming back, sit back down, write it up, throw it away. And pretty soon, you become immune to whoever's talking trash. You can do this very quickly in your mind. You can write something down, throw it away. Even in a game, I've had players do this. If something's really getting to you, somebody's talking trash, during a timeout, take 5 seconds, see yourself, write down really quickly, this guy said I'm no good, I can't shoot. Feel the heat of the fire, crinkle it up, throw it in the fire, and watch it burn away. And then your mind, in that instance, going to be clear. Let me add one more thing. Here's another hint. We talk trash to ourselves. Okay? Don't we? Sometimes we do it because we have one bad play, one bad game, and all of a sudden we start trashing ourselves. The same rule applies. Write down what you're saying about yourself, crinkle it up, and throw it in the fire. You know, a good trash talker, what a good trash talker does is they get in the head of the person they're talking trash to, and the person they're talking trash to starts to talk trash to themselves, starts to doubt themselves.
He ain't got shit. He ain't got shit. He ain't got shit. Ah, you sucker! Oh my God, sucker being fair. What a great no-look pass, too. Am I right? The mustard is off the hot dog.
So that's my advice for how to deal with somebody talking trash to you. If you have any more questions, leave them in the comment section. I just wanted to do this quick video today. I'm actually in Thailand. Really nice, really beautiful. Doing some other videos on my other channel as well, so I hope you'll check that out. Again, I apologize for the fuzziness. I'm not sure what's going on. May have to get a new laptop or something. Talk to you guys soon. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Go to basketballbrain.com, get the full program. You're really hurting yourself if you don't do it. I really mean that.